Welcome to World of Marketing Podcast, a Foster Web Marketing production. Here's your host, Tom Foster.
Today, I have got my good friend, my buddy, Jason Abraham. Jason.
Good morning, Tom. I'm so excited to be here with you. Anytime I'm with you, talking about marketing, I'm excited. So thanks for having me again, and I'm really happy to be here.
Jason Abraham is the managing partner who runs the show at Hupy and Abraham, which is a billion-dollar personal injury firm.
Yeah, almost two, Tom. Almost two. We're almost at $2 billion in
wow.
Yeah, so we're very lucky.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Wow. Okay, so almost $2 billion. That's incredible. You're in 3 states.
Yep. We're in Wisconsin, Iowa, and Illinois. It's hard to believe,
yes,
because as you and I know, because we've talked so much and we're good friends as well as business associates. You know, I was always a big dreamer as a kid. I always knew I wanted to be a lawyer. I always loved talking in front of people. I thought I'd be a good trial lawyer. And I was just a big dreamer. But to be honest, I could have never dreamed this big. And I am so humbly excited about what we've created and what we've done. And, you know, there is so much luck and timing involved in your success. And, you know, you have to parlay that obviously with hard work. But I'm just grateful to so many people like you and like our employees that have been here along the 30 years I've been here with Mike Hupy. And it's just been a great journey and just one that I'm extremely, extremely proud of.
Well, let's take us back to 30 years ago to when you first started at Hupy. What kind of marketing were you doing?
Well, very little. I think back in the day, the most marketing you did was the Yellow Pages. And so we had a full page ad in the Yellow Pages. TV was kind of just starting out. And when I started with Mike, he had a small TV budget. Actually, him and his partner at that time, they actually had competing TV budgets, which is quite funny. They were each spending money on their own. And then if one of their ads would generate a call, they would kind of get credit for that. It was a real interesting way to go about it back in the day. But TV was a real small part, and really Yellow Pages was the name of the game. And ultimately, we had a problem with the Yellow Pages where they came to us and they had always said, you'll never lose your place in line. And at that time, we had one office in Milwaukee. I think we had place number 6 or page number 7. And they always said, you will never lose your place in line if you keep paying this money. And then they came up with the idea of doing the double truck ad and telling you, yeah, although the same amount of people are going to see the Yellow Pages, we're going to tell you to go to 2 pages. We're going to charge you double for the same amount of people looking at it. And they just tried to generate more revenue. And we said, hell no. Mike actually sent letters to all of our other 1-page people saying, let's not do this, because the only people making out on this are the Yellow Pages. And ultimately, they then went to our competition and said, you can jump Hupy and the other law firms by doing the double truck ads. And we ended up suing them and actually lost, surprisingly. Wow. But then we decided to say, screw the Yellow Pages. And we started putting all that money on TV. And boy, were we smart and lucky, because obviously the Yellow Pages was a dinosaur and died shortly thereafter. And we were at the forefront then of TV in our markets. And then every time we expanded.
You guys started doing TV right when it opened up.
Yeah,
right when it was allowed.
Yeah.
You got after it.
And so Mike was really, a visionary back then. I was just a young pup lawyer. And so he said, screw it. If this is the name of the game, we're going to get in it. And we did. And then that was, I guess, as we became more successful, we kept putting
so
money.
Mike was kind of doing the marketing back then. And you were being the lawyer, right? You were litigating and you were.
I was 1 year out of law school. I was a pup.
Wow.
I thought I knew everything when I knew nothing. And I was lucky enough that I was doing criminal defense for a year before I started with Mike. And I interviewed with him, and I was lucky enough that he saw something in me and hired me. And so back then I was just grinding. I was the lowest lawyer on the totem pole. I was grinding it out. And that's when I just started to make myself different from everyone else, make myself indispensable. So at the point in time, Mike decided that I was worthy to be his partner, and that's how it all really started. And then
Wow.
together we just kept
Wow. He saw
expanding.
something in you. That's so great, Jason.
Yeah, I was lucky, but I worked hard. The timing was
Yeah,
there.
for sure.
Anybody that doesn't think luck and timing plays a role in their success or played a role in their success, they are taking way too much credit, because all of us who are successful, there is luck and timing. And then you got to parlay that with all your innate ability, skills, hard work, dedication. But that's really what it takes, because there are plenty of people out there that were smarter than me, that may have worked as hard and didn't get to where I was or where I am. And so I understand that through a lot of hard work of others, luck and timing, and then everything I brought to the table, that's what allowed us to now be the Midwest's biggest personal injury law firm.
So, okay. So, all right. You were doing, Mike was doing the marketing at first, doing the TV and all that stuff, while you were doing the trial law and being the litigator and being in the courtroom and, growing.
Yeah, Mike was still doing that as well at the time. Back then, he was still doing.
When did you step into that role when did you start taking over marketing?
Let's see. We've been together 30 years. I'd say over the last maybe 15 years, marketing. I was the managing partner of the firm before that, doing more of just the overall managing, and Mike was still doing a lot of the marketing. And then as time went on, we just I took on more of that role as well, or we did it together. And now as time has gone on, I'm really the one making sure on a day-to-day basis that the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted.
Because that's how we were fortunate to meet, because of Michael Hupy too, because Michael Hupy came down to Great Legal Marketing Conference.
Yep.
And I met him down there, and that's how we met. And we worked with you and Chad Kreblin, your other partner there, and built that website way back when. I should remember the year that we
was it about 100 years ago?
100 years ago. It was like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And long time ago. And the website has had several iterations.
Yeah.
And it's gone through lots of things, and the web has changed. And you and I talk about this all the time. The web has changed, but you're still doing TV, right?
Yeah, we are.
You're still doing all the TV. You haven't pulled back from that at all, have you?
No, we've pulled back from some TV to go to others, obviously, because the way people watch TV now is so different. Who knew there'd be such a thing called cord cutters or people streaming TV? Back in the day, you only had broadcast, then you have cable. Now you've got all these different things between
that's true.
Netflix, Hulu, and people watching it through their gaming systems. And so the one thing we've always done well here at Hupy and Abraham is we're not afraid to try new things. And we always want to be at the forefront. We understand you got to spend money to make money. And we also understand you have to fail. If you're afraid of failure, you will never be successful. Because the way I look at it is, if you're not failing at about 50% of the things you're not trying hard enough. Because not everything you're going to do, no matter how well-intended or smart you are, or smart your people are, it's not always going to work. It's not always going to be successful. And you have to be willing to fail. And that also means you have to be willing to have your employees, your key people, your directors, your marketing team, in any aspect of your business, you have to let them understand it's okay to fail too, because it's uncomfortable to fail. I never like to march up to the courthouse and have a trial and lose, but I'd sure rather march up there and try a case and lose than be afraid to go to the courthouse, because at the end of the day, the insurance company knows who the real trial lawyers are and who are the pretenders. So I think we do a really good job here of understanding, okay, now it's over 30% of the people, I think, are cord cutters. So what kind of OTT are you doing? How are you touching the cord cutters? Because your broadcast stuff, if you're just continuing to do the way you've done it for the last 25, 30 years, you're going to be missing out on at least 30% of the population watching TV. Soon that could be 40, could be 50. So, trusting the people that you do business with. When you, Tom, call me and say, hey, or call my marketing director and you say, hey, you need to do an overhaul of your website and it's going to cost money. Well, that's okay. Because if you're not going to be willing to spend the money, listen to the experts, the people that know the space. Like, I don't know the website space. I don't know all that. If you don't trust the people, well, then how are you going to be successful?
Right. Well, you've got lots of channels, and that is how you've grown this incredible. You've just done an incredible job. I mean, you guys. I mean, you've grown to $2 billion. I mean, that's Jason.
It's a big number. We're very humble about that number. It's a big number. We've represented over 70,000 people in individual accident cases. I mean, it's a staggering number, and it is a
staggering number, and it's the marketing engine, the machine that you've created, and then the process, the back end process, being able to handle all those cases.
Yeah, and
be able to manage all of those cases.
And the other thing it is, Tom, I think one of the biggest things it's the customer service and the results, because anyone can run an ad on TV, right? Anyone could slap their ad on a bus, can put stuff out on any billboard, can do any type of advertising, and you can get some cases. The problem you have is if you don't do good work and provide great customer service, that's not going to matter, especially in today's society where everyone can write a review, everyone can do all those things. If you're not backing up what you say you're going to do for people, your business is going to be short-lived. And that's the thing, to be honest, I'm the most proud of. I'm not afraid. Like, we send blind surveys to every one of our clients after we're done representing them. You can't be afraid to get the bad information. Now, sure. I look at it and say, I am in the customer service just like a department store, Best Buy, Dick's Sporting Goods. I look at us as the same. Just because I have a professional degree doesn't mean anything when it comes to customer service. I'm in the customer service business just like everybody else. And the only way I think you have a chance to be successful in our business is to understand that. Too many people think because they have the law degree, that makes them better than everyone else. Listen, I put my pants on one leg at a time like everybody else. I don't think of myself as any better than anybody else. And with that kind of customer service attitude, that filters down to your staff. You can't be afraid to get the information, because if you provide bad service, what does the survey say, Tom? If someone is unhappy when they leave, they're going to tell 15 people you stink. Yep. If someone is super happy at the end, they may tell 4 people you're great. So if you're not thinking about that now in your business, right, about that customer service and finding it out, and send the surveys at the end, I expect them all to be good. The 99.9% of the ones that are good, I expect that. I care about the ones that aren't good, to figure out, what could I do better? How could I treat the clients better? How can my customer service experience, my client experience, be better at Hupy and Abraham? Because at the end of the day, that's the goal. No one leaves their personal injury lawyer's office at the end of the day saying, damn, am I happy I had that accident? No one. If someone gets $1 million when they leave here, none of us want what they had to get that $1 million. And if someone gets 10,000 or 50,000, no one wants that either. Their life was upended for a period of time. They didn't have their car, all sorts of problems. So you have that at the end. No one leaves here thinking, oh, so happy. I hope I have another accident tomorrow. So you have to work hard. You have to think about that customer service.
Wow. Yeah, that's a good perspective. But, Jason, I mean, like, that you guys have always been that way. You've just always had that kind of philosophy about.
Well, we have, because when I joined, it started with Mike. That's I got to give him all the credit there. I mean, when I started, that was the philosophy that he instilled in me. And now that's the philosophy that I'm instilling in all the other people that work here. It really starts with how you're taught, how you're trained when you get there. And if you have that customer service focus, at the beginning, it'll never steer you wrong.
So you've got the 3 states. Where do you go from here? What are your plans now?
I think my plans are, I would say that bigger isn't always better. I think when you are, for us, the Midwest's biggest personal injury law firm, people continuously want to knock you off the block, right? They want what you have, but they're not really willing to go out and earn it the way you earned it. And so I think for me, I'm looking and saying, what we've created has been amazing. COVID has brought its own set of challenges, right? Because there's less people on the road. There's more remote work in some industries. People aren't necessarily going out as much as they have been. And accidents are a function of miles driven and cars on the road. So generally, I think driving patterns have changed a little bit. So, we went through a period of time where no one was driving. And I really understand how lucky I am. And I look at people like you who have been immensely important in my success. And I'm just so grateful. And to be honest, I only want to do business with people I like. I only want to do business with people that I want to have come over to my house, drink a beer, care about their families. Yeah. I mean, you and I text a lot of times and it's nothing about work. Yeah. It's just about family and how are you? And hey, I'm thinking about you and I'm just grateful. And to be honest, all of the people that I'm working with when it comes to the marketing related issues, that's how I feel about all of them. And, you just get that back in spades, and I should always want and give that level of kindness and respect, because I'm just so grateful for all the hard work that you and your amazing team have done for me, because it's a group effort, right? I mean, I'm one person, I'm a lawyer.
Well, we've learned so much. The LSAs, the local ads, the map pack, and organic. We're back organically across the.
These terms I've learned, obviously, thankfully through you and your team, I know more about them. I still don't, obviously have a mastery of them like you do. But I think the thing that separates you for us over your competition is that you are on top of it as these things change, and they do change. It's easy to think.
Oh, big changes are coming too.
Yeah, and big changes have happened, and it's easy. Yeah. And same with us as a business. It's easy to rest on your laurels and say, okay, because I've done it this way for the last 30 years and we've been successful at it, that we're going to continue to do it that way for the next 30 years. And I think another reason that has allowed us to be in 3 states and have 11 offices is you just have to adapt. Life doesn't work that way. And if you just sit around and do it the way you did it before, you're going to get passed by. And, the thing that I've been so grateful is that, when you come to us and say, hey, Jason, we need to do this, we need to do that, Google's changing this, that's changing. I may not know exactly what that means, but you're telling me, hey, if you want to stay where you are, you want to stay ahead of the game, we got to do this and we've got to do that. And, I think you would say the one thing I'm never afraid to do and the firm is never afraid to do is to spend the money it needs to spend to stay at the top, stay ahead of the game, try to be ahead of it.
Definitely not. And there's change coming. I mean, Google Analytics 4 coming this July. The way that we have been doing Google Analytics, the way I've been reporting has been, with bounce rate and sessions and clicks and all this stuff that analytics provides is going away, and it's totally changing. So the language is changing to events, and it's all going to be completely different. So exactly right. All the reporting is going to be different. Stay tuned for that, man.
All I know is when I get on the web and I Google my name and I see myself on the top, I'm just happy. I don't know how you can be there. I don't know what's going on. All I know is I see my local service and I'm on top. And I see the map and I'm on top. And then when I see the organic search and I'm on the top, where as high as I can be, I just feel good, and I know you're doing what you need to do, and my marketing team and director are working with you, and I just see it, and I'm just happy that I have you, and it's a big undertaking. I understand it's a huge undertaking. Yeah. The best piece of advice, Tom, I can give any of your potential clients that are listening to this that are saying, hey, Should I contact Foster? What should they do? Are they going to be good for me? I would tell them, from my perspective, starting with one office in Wisconsin and now being the Midwest's biggest personal injury firm, 11 offices in 3 states, you got to find partners that are willing to understand your business, willing to figure out how their craft needs to be different for what your needs are, and are willing to just do whatever it takes to help you get to the level you want to be at. You have done that for us. And it hasn't always been smooth. And anyone that says in every aspect of their business, oh, it's always been great, or this has always been easier, they're lying. They're not being honest. Because no matter how well-intended I am, how well-intended you are, as you grow and you get bigger and we have all this complication, it's hard. And some things aren't going to work. As I said earlier, you're going to fail 50% of the time in almost everything you try. And so who's going to work hard for you? How is that partnership going to work? The best thing about what, Tom, you and I have going is it can be Sunday at 9 o'clock at night. And even if things aren't going well the way we want them to go, in a moment of time, you and I are going to figure out what it is. You're going to listen to my frustration if I have any, the few times I've had it, and you're going to hear it, and then you're going to go to your team and we're going to figure it out. And that is hard to find a partner that you can have that kind of relationship. We all know how hard our personal relationships are. Our professional relationships are similar. They're always going to have ups and downs and challenges, but who is going to work by your side as a partner? Who's going to be there when the times are great and the times are tough? And I just can't say thank you enough to you and your team, because in the few times we've had some tough times on certain aspects, we've just been able to have that kind of communication, work past it, and do whatever it takes. And I'm just so grateful for that.
Thank you for saying that, Jason. You're tremendous guy. I appreciate you so much being on the podcast today, my man. And listen, anybody that's listening to this, lawyers, refer your cases, your personal injury cases, to this firm in the Midwest, biggest firm. They will take great care of your clients. Reach out to them. Hupy and Abraham, Hupy.com. You can't miss them. They're everywhere. Jason, thank you so much.
Thank you, bud. I love you. I'm so grateful for you. The best to you and your family the rest of the year. And I always love being around you, talking to you, texting you. It's always a good day for me when I know I get to talk to you.
Thank you, brother. All right. It's been Tom Foster and Jason Abraham on The World of Marketing, everybody. Thank you so much. Take care, Jason. I'll see you later.